Most men spend their lives looking outward, chasing money, success, validation, and women, while never realizing that some of the most important answers about who they are and what they're meant to do were written into them the day they were born. Sounds strange? It's not. There's a deeper code behind your birth, specifically the last digit of your birth year, and what it reveals is not some cheap horoscope. It's rooted in ancient Buddhist wisdom about energy cycles, karmic paths, and soul evolution. This number is not random. In Buddhist and Eastern traditions, numbers carry energy. They're spiritual markers that represent lessons you are meant to learn in this lifetime. The last digit of your birth year ties directly into your dominant karmic theme, your inner strengths, hidden weaknesses, how you handle relationships, and even what keeps sabotaging your peace. When you understand what that digit means, something strange happens. You begin to see patterns. You start connecting dots in your behavior, your past, and even your romantic life. You gain control. And that's what most modern men lack, inner control. If you're tired of making the same mistakes, attracting the wrong people, or feeling stuck, then lean in. Because once you understand what your birth year says about you, you'll stop moving blindly. You'll operate with insight. And men who move with insight, they don't chase, they attract. Let's decode your birth digit and uncover what Buddhist wisdom has been trying to show you all along. A 0, the path of emptiness and infinite potential. If the last digit of your birth year is 0, you were born under the energy of emptiness, but not in a negative sense. In Buddhist teaching, emptiness, shunyata, is the space where all creation begins. It means limitless potential. You are not tied to any one fixed identity or path. You are the type of man who can reinvent himself completely. You are not bound, but that freedom comes with a cost. You have to choose who you become. No one will shape you for you. Men born with this energy often feel like they don't quite fit in. You may have grown up feeling disconnected from your environment, like you're watching life happen rather than living it. That's because your soul isn't meant to follow the same blueprint as others. You are here to create your own. The danger is staying stuck in analysis, always planning, never executing, waiting for certainty that will never come. Your biggest karmic challenge is direction. With so much potential, you can easily float, dabbling in different paths, relationships, ideas, never committing fully. But deep inside, you crave mastery. The wisdom you must learn is this: freedom is earned by choosing a path and walking it with discipline. In relationships, you tend to attract women who want to fix you or guide you. But that's not what you need. You need space to breathe, to lead, to grow into the man you're becoming. Be mindful not to confuse emotional distance with independence. Real masculine independence doesn't mean cutting people off. It means standing firm in your values and direction, even when no one else understands them. To thrive, you must embrace silence and solitude, but not as an escape. Use it to build yourself from the inside out. Meditate, reflect, structure your thoughts. Stop looking for a map and start drawing one. When you move with intentionality, people follow your energy. You become magnetic. The spiritual gift of the number 0 is this: you are not defined by your past, your pain, or your patterns. You are the one digit that symbolizes a complete reset. But if you do not choose a higher self to grow into, you risk becoming a man who lives in loops, unfulfilled, uncommitted, and unknown. You have the power to shape your own destiny, but you must act. You must build discipline. You must define your code. Stop waiting for the world to give you permission. The world is waiting on you. 1. The warrior of independence. If your birth year ends in 1, you are born under the number of independence, leadership, and raw willpower. In Buddhist wisdom, this digit symbolizes the lone path, the soul that forges forward even when no one else is around. You are a man who is not meant to follow. You are meant to break away from the crowd and build something entirely your own. But here's the catch. Being number 1 often feels like being alone. You've probably noticed how you rarely feel truly understood. People look up to you, they may even follow your ideas, but deep inside you often feel like you carry everything on your own. You were built that way for a reason. You are here to develop inner strength, clarity, and direction without constant validation. That's your karma. As a man, this energy can be powerful, but it can also become a trap. You may fall into the habit of doing everything yourself, refusing help, pushing people away when they get too close. You confuse being strong with being invulnerable. But true masculine energy is not about isolation. It's about owning your power and knowing when to let someone in. In relationships, this shows up clearly. You attract women who are either overly dependent on you or women who are as independent as you, leading to power struggles. You need a woman who respects your space, but also brings balance to your fire. Do not mistake solitude for self-worth, and do not confuse leadership with control. Your karmic lesson? Balance your strength with emotional maturity. You're the type who can build empires, but you must learn to listen, not just to others, but to yourself. You move fast, often too fast, but not every problem is a battle to win. Some are there to teach patience. Some require stillness. In Buddhist teachings, the number one carries the fire of action. You are not supposed to wait, but that doesn't mean act blindly. It means trust your instincts after mastering your mind. Meditation is not a soft habit. It's the most masculine thing you can do because it sharpens your ability to observe yourself. And a man who knows himself is not shaken by external chaos. Here's the truth. You will always walk ahead of others. You are the type of man who blazes new trails. But don't let your mission make you cold. Stay human. Stay grounded. Use your voice not just to command, but to connect. Your power lies in your solitude, yes, but your greatness is found when you use that strength not to dominate, but to lead with presence, calmness, and courage. 2. The peacemaker with a hidden storm. If the last digit of your birth year is 2, you carry the energy of balance, duality, and connection. In Buddhist symbolism, the number 2 represents yin and yang, the dance between masculine and feminine energy, logic and emotion, silence and speech. You are naturally tuned in to the emotions of others. You can read people. You know how to keep the peace, how to make others feel safe. But behind that calm surface is a storm you rarely show. Men born with the energy of 2 often become emotional anchors for their partners, their families, or even their friends. You listen, you support, you give. But here's the problem. Who supports you? You've learned to survive by keeping your needs quiet, putting others first, and avoiding conflict. But that creates an inner war. One day it explodes, and when it does, people are shocked. You always seemed so calm. That's because they never saw what you were holding in. Your karmic lesson is clear. Do not abandon yourself in order to keep peace with others. You have a strong heart, but you cannot pour from an empty cup. Buddhist wisdom teaches that true peace comes from inner alignment, not from bending yourself to please everyone around you. In relationships, this number tends to attract intense emotional connections. Women are drawn to your softness, your understanding, your emotional intelligence. But if you are not careful, you will become the man who gives too much and receives too little. You stay when you should leave. You tolerate when you should walk away. You think loyalty means suffering in silence. It does not. You are not weak for feeling deeply. You are not soft for needing reciprocity. And you are not any less of a man for choosing to walk away from emotional chaos. In fact, that's what makes you powerful. The ability to feel without becoming enslaved to those feelings. Your strength is in your awareness. You notice what others miss. You see patterns in people, in situations, in energy. That sensitivity is your gift, but it must be protected. Protected by setting boundaries. Not every battle is worth fighting, but not every silence is wisdom either. Know when to speak, know when to walk, and know when to demand more for yourself. The number 2 also represents co-creation. You are not meant to walk alone, but you are also not meant to lose yourself in others. You must learn to stand firmly on your own before you can truly love anyone else. So here is your truth. You are a mirror. Others see themselves in you. But make sure when you look in the mirror, you see yourself too. Because the moment you start honoring your own needs, the moment you stop suppressing your emotions for peace, that's when you become unshakable. 3. The charmer with a deeper calling. If your birth year ends in 3, you are born under the energy of expression, creativity, and magnetism. In Buddhist numerology, the number 3 is tied to the 3 jewels: the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, truth, path, and community. That means your soul came here with a natural gift. You were made to influence. You draw people in effortlessly. Your words matter. Your presence shifts rooms. You are the kind of man people remember, even when you don't try. But with that charm comes a hidden challenge. You often hide behind your smile. You perform, you please, you entertain. And deep inside, you're often wondering, who actually sees me? The number 3 hides pain behind laughter, confusion behind charisma, and restlessness behind the illusion of being okay. Your life may feel like a series of unfinished projects, half-built dreams, or relationships that burned bright and fast. That is because your energy is fast-moving, passionate, but easily distracted. You chase the high of something new until it bores you. Then you drift, and you wonder why nothing sticks. Your karmic lesson is simple: depth over stimulation. You are not here to sample everything. You are here to master your voice and use it with purpose. Buddhist wisdom teaches that speech has power. It can heal or destroy. You've been given a tongue that can speak peace or confusion. Your words carry energy. Be deliberate with them. In relationships, you often find yourself in complicated dynamics. You attract women who are drawn to your light, but they often want to hold on too tightly. Or worse, they expect you to always be on. You need someone who appreciates your depth, not just your charm. But in order to find her, you must first show her the real you, the version that is not performing, not pleasing, just present. Men with this energy must learn to ground themselves. Meditation, discipline, and structure are not your natural defaults, but they're necessary. Because without them, your life becomes scattered. Talented, yes, but wasted. You must create a mission out of your magic. Speak with intention. Build with focus. Love with clarity. The danger for a man like you is living for attention instead of connection. So ask yourself often, am I being seen or just being liked? There's a big difference. And only one of them leads to peace. You were not born to be average. You were born to lead, to create, to influence, but not through ego, through presence, through alignment. And that means doing the inner work to understand your patterns, your impulses, and your shadows. Your charm is not your gift. It's the bait that gets people close. But your truth, that's what makes you unforgettable. 4. The builder of solid foundations. If the last digit of your birth year is 4, you are born with the energy of structure, stability, and discipline. In Buddhist philosophy, this number represents the grounded path, a soul whose karma is tied to consistency, not chaos. You are not made for shortcuts. You are made to build brick by brick. Your power is in your ability to endure, to plan, and to execute. But let's be honest, this life can feel heavy sometimes. People rely on you. You are the responsible one, the one who gets things done, the one who holds it all together. And that weight, it wears you down if you're not careful, because you rarely ask for help. You tell yourself, I'll handle it, even when you're drowning. Men born with the energy of 4 often feel the pressure to be perfect. You follow rules, you create systems, you make plans. And when things fall apart, you blame yourself, even when it's not your fault. You think if you just try harder, everything will work. But here's the lesson. Life is not a machine. You cannot control everything. You have to learn to trust the process, not just the plan. In relationships, this number creates men who are loyal, dependable, and deeply committed, but also emotionally closed off. You show love through action, not words. You protect, provide, and remain steady. But women are emotional beings. They want to feel you, not just be taken care of. And sometimes, your silence sends the wrong message. You're not heartless. You're guarded. You've trained yourself to suppress emotion because it gets in the way. But that's the shadow of the 4, mistaking control for strength. Real strength is knowing when to soften, when to listen, when to show vulnerability, not as a weakness, but as a deeper layer of your masculinity. Buddhist teachings remind us that even the strongest structures must breathe. Rigidity breaks under pressure, flexibility survives. Your challenge is not to lose your structure, it's to make space within it. Learn to adapt without crumbling. Learn to pause without feeling lazy. Learn to love without a checklist. Spiritually, your soul chose this path because you are here to create something lasting, a legacy, a life of meaning. You are the builder, the architect, the one who turns dreams into form. But if you forget to feed your soul, you'll build castles that feel like prisons. You do not have to do everything right. You do not have to be the one who carries it all. What you do need is alignment, making sure what you build on the outside matches who you are on the inside. Your gift is real, your power is rare, but don't let your focus on stability stop you from feeling alive. Sometimes the greatest structure you can build is one that allows you to feel safe being seen, not just respected, but truly understood. 5. The rebel with restless energy. If your birth year ends in 5, you are born under the energy of freedom, change, and adventure. In Buddhist teachings, 5 represents the 5 aggregates that make up human experience: form, sensation, perception, mental formations, and consciousness. This means your life is meant to explore the full range of human emotion and experience. You are not here to live small or safe. You were born to break patterns, test limits, and challenge norms. You are the fire in the system. Men with this energy often grow up feeling like they were made for something bigger. You hate routines. You get bored fast. And the moment things feel too familiar, your instincts start screaming to escape. Whether it's a job, a woman, or a lifestyle, you crave the new. That craving can either drive you to greatness or destroy your ability to commit. Your karmic lesson? Freedom without discipline is chaos. Yes, you are meant to explore, but exploration without purpose becomes a distraction. You start chasing highs instead of building peace. You become the man who is always searching but never arriving. In relationships, this number creates intense magnetism. You are exciting, spontaneous, unpredictable. Women feel alive around you, but they also feel unsure. You might say the right things, but your energy says, I might not be here tomorrow. And if you are not conscious of that, you'll leave a trail of emotional wreckage, not because you're cruel, but because you're unanchored. This doesn't mean you're meant to settle down in a boring, boxed-in life. Absolutely not. You're not built for mediocrity. You're built for movement with meaning. Buddhist wisdom reminds us that change is the nature of life, but it also teaches that mindfulness is the path to liberation. You need a mission, something that burns brighter than your impulses, something that gives your movement direction. As a man, your strength lies in your ability to adapt. You're quick-witted, resourceful, and creative. You think outside the box, but if you don't learn to slow down and reflect, you will keep outrunning your own growth. The pain you avoid always catches up, just in different forms, different faces, same patterns. Spiritually, the number 5 is a storm that wants to become wind, still powerful, but with purpose. When you focus your energy inward through meditation or solitude, you unlock something rare. You become a man who doesn't run from emotion, but channels it. You stop being reactive and start being responsive. You don't need to stop craving more, you just need to stop mistaking movement for progress. Sometimes the boldest thing you can do is stay, face the discomfort, and learn what it's trying to teach you. You are not here to live like everyone else, but you are here to evolve. And real evolution doesn't come from escaping. It comes from engaging deeply, fully, and consciously. 6. The protector with a heavy heart. If the last digit of your birth year is 6, you were born under the energy of responsibility, nurturing, and sacrifice. In Buddhist numerology, 6 connects deeply with karma. It is the energy of cause and effect, of being accountable not just for what you do, but for how you show up. This is the path of the caretaker, the one who puts others first, often at the expense of their own peace. As a man, this energy makes you a guardian. You have a deep-rooted instinct to protect, to guide, to fix what is broken around you. You are the kind of man who people lean on, emotionally, financially, spiritually. They see you as solid, dependable, and comforting. But deep down, you often carry a silent frustration. Who holds you up? Who protects you? You love deeply, but you also carry guilt. You feel responsible for things that were never yours to carry. If someone you love is hurting, you take it on as your failure. If a relationship goes wrong, you think you could have done more. That mindset weighs you down. It makes you easy to manipulate, especially by women who know how to play into your protector role, because you will sacrifice yourself to avoid letting someone down. Your karmic lesson is this: stop mistaking self-sacrifice for love. Buddhist wisdom teaches that true compassion begins with the self. If you are bleeding for everyone else but ignoring your own wounds, that is not noble. It is neglect. You cannot save anyone by drowning. In relationships, this number makes you intensely loyal and emotionally available. You're the man who listens, who shows up, who gives even when you have little left. But that kind of love only works when it's reciprocated. Too often you attract women who take advantage of your heart because you keep giving them chances. You hope they'll change. You believe in their potential. And all the while you're shrinking. Here's the truth: your sensitivity is not weakness. It's strength that has not yet learned boundaries. You need to be with someone who understands that your love is powerful and who protects it, not drains it. Someone who builds with you, not just leans on you. Spiritually, the number 6 pushes you to evolve from rescuer to leader. You are not here to fix broken people. You are here to build healthy dynamics. That requires you to speak up, to say no, to honor your emotional limits. You do not owe your peace to people who cannot give you theirs. Your gift is the ability to love with depth. Your danger is losing yourself in that love. So protect your heart as fiercely as you protect others. You were not born to carry everyone. You were born to lead by example. And the best example you can give the world is this: a man who knows when to give, when to stay, and when to walk away with his dignity intact. 7. The thinker trapped in his own mind. If your birth year ends in 7, you were born under the energy of spiritual depth, introspection, and inner truth. In Buddhist wisdom, the number 7 is sacred. It is the number of enlightenment, the 7 factors of awakening, and the bridge between the seen and unseen worlds. But for men born with this digit, life is rarely simple. You are a thinker, an observer. You do not just live. You analyze, question, and try to make sense of everything. But sometimes, that becomes your prison. You are not like most men. You have always felt slightly disconnected from the world around you. Not in a broken way, but in a detached way. You see through the surface. You read between the lines. And while everyone is busy reacting, you are watching, calculating, thinking deeply. That makes you powerful. But it can also make you lonely. People misunderstand you. They call you distant, cold, or too serious. Women often say, "I feel like you're never fully here." That is because your mind is always somewhere else, planning, doubting, or seeking answers. You are drawn to spirituality, mystery, philosophy, not because it's trendy, but because you are wired to search for what's real beneath what's obvious. Your karmic lesson is this: do not hide in your thoughts to avoid life. Buddhism teaches that thinking is useful, but experience is where truth is felt. You must come down from the mind and into the moment. Otherwise, you will miss the very things you long to understand: connection, intimacy, love. In relationships, you tend to keep your emotions private. You do not open up easily, even if you feel deeply. You're cautious with your heart because you've likely been burned before, or worse, misunderstood. But emotional isolation is not the answer. You cannot demand depth from others while hiding yours behind walls. You're not just a man, you're a seeker. But seeking must lead to sharing, or else it becomes self-centered. Your partner cannot read your mind. You must learn to express your truth, not just in grand gestures, but in small moments. Let her in. Let her see the man beneath the logic, the man who wants to be seen, even if he's afraid to be vulnerable. Spiritually, your path is about merging intellect and presence. You have the mind of a monk and the heart of a warrior, but both must be used. Meditation is your ally, not as an escape, but as a training ground. It brings you back to stillness, to now, to reality beyond thoughts. You were not made for the shallow world, but you are still in it. And your challenge is to live deeply without disappearing into your own head. Think, yes. Reflect, absolutely. But also feel, act, love, and risk. You are the man who can bring truth into any room, but only if you are brave enough to speak it aloud. 8. The visionary with a burdened soul. If your birth year ends in 8, you carry the energy of power, ambition, and karma. In Buddhist philosophy, 8 is the number of the Eightfold Path, the practical guide to ending suffering and achieving liberation. This means your soul is tied to lessons about balance between material success and spiritual growth. You are built to achieve greatness, but that greatness often comes with heavy costs. Men born with this number tend to be driven. You have a natural hunger for success, whether in business, relationships, or status. You see the world as a game to be won, and you want to win big. You are not afraid of hard work. You have discipline. You think in terms of legacy, impact, and wealth. But the pressure you place on yourself is intense, and you rarely give yourself permission to rest. Your karma is complicated. You can easily become a man who sacrifices peace for power. You push so hard to climb that you forget why you started. You may find yourself lonely at the top, questioning if the price of success is worth the isolation. Buddhism teaches that power without wisdom is suffering. So your real challenge is to balance your ambition with mindfulness. In relationships, you can be both magnetic and intimidating. Women are attracted to your confidence and drive, but they may also feel shut out emotionally. You often wear a mask of control and stability, but inside you struggle with doubts and fears of failure. You might believe showing vulnerability is weakness, so you hide it. But true power is knowing when to let down your guard. Your karmic lesson is to lead without dominating, to pursue success without losing sight of your soul, to care for those you love without making it a transaction. Meditation, compassion, and self-awareness are tools you must use daily, because without them, your ambitions will consume you. You were born to lead, to build, to change the world. But don't let the weight of that responsibility crush your spirit. The greatest leaders are those who know when to hold tight and when to let go. 9. The sage with the warrior's heart. If your birth year ends in 9, you carry the energy of completion, wisdom, and service. In Buddhist thought, 9 represents the end of a cycle, the culmination of lessons learned, and the readiness to move into a higher stage of existence. You are a man with a warrior's heart and a sage's mind. You have been tested by life, shaped by pain, and refined through challenges. Men born with this number often feel a deep sense of purpose, sometimes heavy, sometimes inspiring. You want to make a difference. You want to leave a legacy. But that mission can come with a cost. You carry burdens, emotional scars, disappointments, maybe even regrets, that shape how you approach love and trust. Your spiritual path is about service, not just to others, but to yourself. You've learned that true strength is not about control or conquest, but about surrender and compassion. You are called to lead by example, to inspire through humility, and to heal through presence. In relationships, you are loyal and deeply committed, but you can be guarded. You don't open easily because you know the pain that can come with vulnerability. You may have been hurt before, or you fear being misunderstood. But love requires courage, and your greatest challenge is to let your guard down without losing yourself. Buddhist wisdom reminds you that endings are beginnings. Your past does not define you. You are here to transform pain into wisdom, isolation into connection. Meditation and reflection are not just practices, they are lifelines. They keep you grounded and remind you that the greatest battles are within. You are the man who understands that life is a cycle of growth, loss, and renewal. Your power comes from embracing that cycle fully, allowing yourself to both fight and heal, to both lead and follow. The world needs men like you, warriors who have learned to be gentle, leaders who have learned to listen, and sages who have the courage to love fiercely. Now you see how the last digit of your birth year reveals more than just a number. It uncovers the core of who you are. Each number carries a unique energy, a hidden blueprint that shapes your strengths, your challenges, and your path in love and life. This isn't guesswork. It's ancient wisdom meeting modern reality. Embrace what your birth digit tells you. Use it to understand your patterns, break cycles, and become the man you were always meant to be. The moment you own this truth, you stop wandering and start leading your life with power and purpose. This is your awakening.